So let us start. So he says that all the genre of, I am talking about Aristotle's Poetics, correct? He has started his very beautiful critical treatise on imitation, theory of imitation, that imitation plays vital role for literature. He says epic poetry, tragic comedy, lyrical poetry, even the most flute playing and lyre playing, flute is also has given importance of literary genre, because it can send the man into transcendental world, and it can amuse a man, it can delight man. And so he stood against his guru Plato, that Plato had laid emphasis on didacticism, morality, rather than aestheticism. But his true disciple Aristotle has fused the views of Plato with aestheticism, that literature should not have only the purpose of telling moral, but also it should have the purpose of delighting, making enjoyment. So enjoyment combined with instruction is the best motto of literature. Herein, in the first paragraph of Aristotle's Poetics, Aristotle has laid emphasis on the manner of imitation, that how imitation plays a vital role in composition of any literary work. Even the critics of a Victorian era, who was Matthew Arnold, he has also laid emphasis on the fusion of both by telling that the poetry is a criticism of life under the conditions fixed for such a criticism by the laws of poetic truth and poetic beauty, where poetic truth stands for the subject matter of any piece of literature, and poetic manner stands as the manner of expression. So likewise Mathonal, we can say here that Aristotle has make an amalgamation of both, that delight as well as instruction should be the main motto of the poetry. That is the reason he is saying that all the comedy, there are all the examples of imitation. Let us proceed. So they differ from one another in three ways. So they all genre of literature which we cited just now, they all differ in their own ways. First, you can say either they by difference a kind in their means, or by difference in objects. Objects means the objects that he uses for the expression of emotion, correct? So they differ in three ways, or in the manner of their imitations. So just as form and color are used as by means some who by art or constant practice imitate and portray many things by their aid, and voice is used by others. Just try to listen. As form and color are used as means by some, means are the same, but signifier are the same, but signified which is intended, the work which is intended to be done is different. Means sources are same, but the production which they are coming out of those sources are different. This is what he wants to say about the medium of imitation. We also observe the same thing, but the product is different. So form and color are used as means by many, but they use it in different way. So also in the above mentioned group of arts, the means with them as a whole are rhythm, language, harmony used. However, either singly or in certain combination, a combination of rhythm and harmony along. So these all are true assets of literature. First of all, he lays emphasis on what? Imitation. That imitation should vary from genre to genre, correct? And there now in the preceding paragraph he lays emphasis on rhythm, that in literature there must be rhythm. Rhythm which is very much linguistic, which shows the essential and inessential pattern of the writing poetry. So rhythm, language and harmony used, however, either singly or in certain combination. A combination of rhythm and harmony alone is the means in flute playing and lyre playing. And any other arts there may be of the same description. Imitative piping, piping down the pipes and pipe me a song. Where?
Pipe, it means also music.
So pipe. This is the line. This is very beautiful line of William Blake. Piping down, piping, pipe a song for me. So the literature is combination of all these things. A combination of rhythm, harmony. Harmony is also emotion. Emotion, that is harmony. Alone is the means in flute playing. So we also find in flute playing, if anyone is playing on flute, then we can also find these all things. Means flute playing, the action of the act of flute playing is not absence of, we don't find absence of the all things. There is also rhythm. No, there is also some sort of language, means the language of flute, which is understood by even God. Remember the ancestors of that there was a time when a man plays on flute, then it starts raining. So such was the effect of flute playing. And if it was without an order, without the rhythm, it could not cast that impact which it could bring the rain. So it has got impact.
Stop.
Everything has. So continue. So flute playing, it is also a form of literature which casts very everlasting experience, impression upon the reader, upon the listener, upon the audience, upon the spectators. Imitative piping, rhythm alone without harmony is the means in dancers' imitations, for even he by the rhythms of his attitude or may represent man's character as well as what do they suffer. The meaning is that dance is also a form of literature. So literature means the expression of life, and dance also expresses the life. For example, as Aristotle is saying now, that with the help of his attitude, with the help of the mudras, it can also represent the man's character as well as what do they suffer. So there is further an art which imitates by language alone, without harmony in prose or in verse, and if in verse either in sum or in a plurality of meters. This form of imitation is to this day without a name. There are lastly certain other arts which combine all the means of enumerated rhythm, melody, and verse. Dithyrambic and nomic kind of poetry, tragedy, comedy, with the difference, however, that the three kinds of means are in all the common, them all is employed together and in other branches separately one after the another. These are the elements of difference about the arts. The objects, now in the second paragraph, he lays emphasis on the objects. The objects the imitator imitates are actions, with the agents who are necessarily either good man or bad. The diversity of human character being nearly always derivative from this primary distinction, since the line between virtue and vice is one, dividing the whole mankind. It follows therefore that the agents represented must be either above our own level of goodness or beneath it. Now he actually plays emphasis on the human character, that there must be the level, it must be drawn from any world, but it must pretend the reality, because and it must pretend reality, and it must have imitation. It should not be real, it should be escape from reality.